guys, we're back here at Bluesman VIntage Guitars again, and today we have a really special guest with us. This is Scott Bernard, guitar player extraordinaire. He's with Kenny Loggins. He's played with numerous other acts over the years. A lot of session work. Scott, tell us a little bit about what brought you to Nashville, what got you into guitar. Tell us a little about your history.
Oh, geez. I started playing really young. I was 8 or 9, and my older brother had a band, and I wanted to be in it, so I got my other brother to show me some chords, and then the bug bit me.
So did you end up with like a family band when you were a kid?
No, it wasn't. But I mean, earlier our family kind of had a band where I played drums every now and then, and it was really, old folks home and stuff like that. Seriously, and I'd play with them on the drums every now and then. At least that's my memory. I was really young, but and then 9, somewhere around 8. I think I was 9. Started playing guitar with that band, and a lot of fun. Skating rinks, weddings, and just like you were talking about, young band. Playing all the hits of the day.
Right, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So tell people a little bit about what you're doing now with Kenny.
Well, it's been 10 years and I've been with Kenny Loggins, and Footloose man, Danger Zone dude, and it's been a great gig. It's been a good run, and he's really busy. Some people don't know how busy he is, and he sings great.
We just saw him recently ourselves with the Nashville Symphony,
it was fun.
And when you see a lot of these, what I call legend acts or acts that have been around for years, sometimes you go out and you see them and it's like, oh, it's really sweet that they're still doing it. But you can tell their voice is not what it used to be.
Sure.
Kenny's awesome, man. He's right on par with what he's always done. It was really good. And it was cool because you guys are doing songs that like, oh, I didn't even know this was him.
Yeah. And, I think a lot of, some of the, especially younger people that maybe come to a show, they don't really know. They know some of his stuff, but then, the whole night is hits. It's all hit after hit after hit. So you're like, oh yeah, I remember that tune. Oh yeah, that tune, And so it's, the whole night is that.
And had a little Winnie the Pooh action going on.
That's back in the Logs and Messina days. So he has hits starting from the early 70s, to the mid 90s, and so. Yeah, he had a career for sure.
Yeah. So getting back to Scott, so you do a lot of other stuff besides just Kenny Loggins gigs. You do a lot of session work and things. What got you, what got you into doing session work as opposed to live performing, and which one do you prefer?
I like both. Way back in the day when I lived in Louisiana, after the little band and. Just growing up doing gigs here and there, and I don't know. I remember pretty early on we had a couple of cassette players, like the the kind that speaker and and I remember just kind of having 2 cassettes and playing a lick, and then going back and forth, and like digging that
early overdubbing.
And just kind of. My memory is that it was just so fulfilling to play a harmony or just a double something, and and then slowly meeting people who had a studio in town. And back then it wasn't, everybody has a studio now.
Oh yeah, that's everybody.
Back then, if you had a studio, it was like, wow, it's a big deal.
Back then you had a guest bedroom, now you have a studio.
Yeah, right.
At least in this town.
Yeah, sure. So, I would do jingles back home and record my own stuff, and just getting to know some of the studios around Louisiana and doing that. And
what part of Louisiana were you from?
New Iberia. The Tabasco is our claim to fame.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, if you know Tabasco, you know where I'm from. The Cajun people,
Yeah.
And so just doing that for a few years, and also did a few years with my own Christian rock band.
Oh yeah, what was that band?
What's that?
What was the name of it?
Well, the name of the band was Big Difference, but you'd never heard of them. and we just played like locally in Louisiana. But that was another thing that kind of lit the fire. Like, I need to do something. I need to, you know, go to Nashville and, you know, at least try, you know. And it was a different shoot. I moved in '98, really, and that was fairly late, you know, in the game for me to move. But it was either I do it or I don't, you know. And yeah, moved here and started playing with a few different Christian artists here and there, and then inevitably you're going to know someone who does country music, so you kind of start playing with the country artists and blah blah blah. And I was in 2004 I was playing with a Universal South, it was a label, artist who opened for Keith Urban.
Who is that?
Her name was Katrina, it still is Katrina Elam. And she was an artist on that label, and she was opening for Keith on his first big tour. His first arena kind of thing. And I got to know his guitar player fairly, his old band, but Chris Rodriguez became a really fast friend. And
we met Chris in Dallas this past year.
Great guy, and somewhere down, you know, backstage, or I think, you know what, I think my wife kind of traveled with us at that point a little bit sometimes. And I think Chris's wife had mentioned to my wife, if, you know, hey, you think Scott would like to sub for Chris on the Kenny Loggins tour? Or, I don't remember how it worked, but I was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. You know? Never really thought it would ever really happen. You know, because I think it was like a third sub. You know, just in case he doesn't, then you
you wanted the best, well, they couldn't make it, so here.
Yeah. So I kind of didn't put a whole lot of eggs in that basket, but you know, lo and behold, about a year later, I got a call, and to sub for a gig in Atlantic City, and I mean, it was just like, okay, here's the stuff, and show up. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, because it was no rehearsal. You just show up, hey, Mr. Loggins, nice to meet you. All right, let's play.
Let's go do this.
Yeah, it was a little strange, but it was really cool. And so yeah, and he had a couple of guitar players, and Gene Miller was another one, and I think they both recommended Kenny if Kenny was looking for another guy, and so I got 2 recommendations, and yeah, and then that went from sub to being the guy to, you know, main.
So being their main guy.
So 10 years later, here I am.
Still there. Cool. Well, that's great. All right, let's do some fun questions. You mentioned a little while ago, you know, some of the you know, places you played when you were growing and starting out. What's one of the weirdest places you've ever played?
Well, I guess, you know, doing a retirement home is, you know,
I've done several retirement homes.
I guess that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I grew up in the bluegrass gospel.
Oh, yeah.
So you've done that. You play a lot of retirement homes. I laugh. We've played several medium security prisons. And
I've never done a prison.
I've played Arby's. I've played Hardee's. I've played Kmart's. I've played.
Oh yeah. Skating rinks. You know, I've done that. But that was kind of par for the course.
That was kind of
back then, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, you know, probably a retirement home.
Retirement homes.
Would be there.
Now, what's really wild for me when those gigs are some of the old people that want to get up and dance, and there's like, you know, walkers.
Yeah, it's sweet actually. You know,
it's sweet, but it's like you're worried for their safety as well. You're like, oh man, if they fall, this is going to be bad. Yeah. so you try to not overplay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, I did like a PTA meeting once. That was our first gig with this band. It's called, the name of the band was Rainbow, not Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
Oh, of course.
Another Rainbow. And that was our first gig, was a PTA meeting. I was in the 4th grade, and I think we started out with Proud Mary, if I remember right. And I was nervous, but it was fun. We had a good time.
Okay, so what's your favorite gig you've ever played?
Oh man, there's a lot of really great gigs. We played in Paris a few years ago, and Kenny hadn't been to Paris
like
ever in his career, and so there was some major Kenny Loggins fans yeah, it was. I will never again probably feel like a Beatle more than that gig.
Oh,
it
really?
was just ridiculous. Yeah. So that was a really cool thing.
And I think I remember you telling me about that because didn't you guys? You did the show and there was like people outside.
Yeah, yeah.
So you came outside and waited for the.
My memory is that it was some kind of a holiday there or something. I forgot what it was. And we were down the main strip. I forgot what the name of the road is, but it was with the arc there. You know, the famous arch. What's that arc? And so after the gig, you know, we ended the show, and then Kenny and I put on acoustics, and we walked through the crowd. And Kenny's idea was to kind of walk through the crowd and have them follow us out to the street. And we jumped on a park bench and sang some songs. You could find it on YouTube; it's there. And that was actually really fun, really cool. And I mean, you know, we played some really cool places with Kenny, man. I cannot lie. On the beach in Hawaii, that's all.
Oh yeah, breaking my heart. You're heading there this weekend. I think.
I'm leaving Saturday for a few days. And,
Yeah,
there's some really cool gigs.
we're all bleeding for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's your worst just gig nightmare? Whether this be terrible load-ins or just terrible show, terrible. Give us like
we were playing the Today Show with Kenny, and we were playing Footloose, and going into the chorus, the first chorus, my guitar goes away, and this is live TV. You can't do anything about it.
Oh man!
And I just hear the tone just going, sing, and then all of a sudden it's nothing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Then I start thinking, man, is my pedal? What is it? One of my pedals or a
battery?
Yeah, and this all happens while you're trying to look nice on camera. And like, I'm sure if the camera was on my face, my eyes would. And turns out the camera guy, one of the dudes, was like stepped on Kenny and I's amps power, so both of our amps went out. So
wow.
Kenny's like, can you, man? And I'm like, I can't help you, man. I have nothing either. And so that was pretty nightmarish, you know, being on national TV and then just going away.
It's a job opening for the camera crew.
Yeah, right.
At that point.
Yeah, because you don't know what's the protocol.
Yeah.
You know, it's live. You can't. Yeah, what do you do? You know?
Well, sorry about that, folks.
Right. So so that was pretty crazy.
That's a pretty rough one.
Yeah. About a year ago, there was this show on ABC called Greatest Hits Live, and it was a really cool thing where it was just different artists from different genres, from different eras, you know, just coming and playing songs on stage. It was really cool. Kenny and Pat Moynihan from a Train did a duet, and it was a mashup between two of their songs. Really cool. And anyway, and so we did Footloose and Danger Zone, and on Danger Zone, I'm walking up to play the solo, and there's if you look at the video, there's a lot of smoke, you know, Danger Zone, right? So they have all the smoke. Yeah. And it was a real slick, shiny floor, you know.
No.
Yeah, and so it was slippery, and as I'm walking up, I slip and I almost fall, but I catch myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, this can't happen on national TV. And of course, in your mind, it lasts for minutes. But so I watched the playback of it, and you can't tell.
You can't really tell.
No, but in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I'm going down. It's gonna be horrible."
That's when you try to sell it as a rock and roll move.
Sure.
You just spin around on the floor or do something crazy. You know?
I'm with the Who. You know,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So all right. So we're gonna do one more question. You know, and this is one everybody's asking since your connection to Kenny. How many degrees of separation are you from Kevin Bacon?
I am one, I guess. Yeah.
So.
I mean, right?
So I get
I've met him, so you're.
Well, if
one.
you've met him, that makes me one. That makes you directly connected to. So now, anyone who now knows Bluesman VIntage.
He was at the gig where we lost our power.
Oh, really?
It was a big Footloose celebration. Okay. So he was there, and who was playing the preacher? He was in Harry and Henderson's, big tall guy.
Oh, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow was there, and a couple other guys from the show. So yeah, you're one.
So I'm 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon,
right?
Which makes all of you people now 2 degrees.
Yeah.
So
theoretically. Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
Check out more about what we do at Bluesman Vintage at bluesmanvintage.com. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video, and go by our YouTube channel and sign up for the Liger pedal giveaway. We're going to be doing some really cool, contests and giveaway stuff. Get some free gear. Check out Scott Bernard. Where can they find you?
Man, they can find me at a Scott Bernard artist page on Facebook, and I post a lot there, and there's all sorts of videos, and
cool.
Yeah, and I'll be somewhere around.
Yeah, go check out Kenny Loggins when he's in your area.
Yeah.
This guy's very humble, but an amazing guitar player.
Thank you, man.
Great guy. So check him out. Be sure to check us out again at bluesmanvintage.com.